Hi guys, jeez. Alright, we're on really fun. Yesterday was Travel X Day 2 of our 10-day, looks like an extended 1 day, so it'll be 11 days total. We're up in Utah now. Beautiful Utah. Near, can't even remember where we're at. I'll put it on the screen. Got a rough night. Sleep typically like very good the first night in the RVs. So we kind of settle in, I guess, adjusting from regular society madness to camping life, which is way better than any day, any work day for sure. Interesting cave up there, I just noticed. St. George, that's where we're near. So, again, yeah, this is day 2. We traveled about 5 hours. I have to check the odometer, how far we went miles-wise. The trailer did great. No issues, thank God. We've decided to wait 1 day because it's so windy out here today, and it's going to be windy where we're going up to Wyoming. High winds, dangerous winds for high-profile vehicles. So no need to push it. I mean, we got time. We're going to readjust the camping schedule a little bit to make it all work. So, but yeah, as you can see here, it's pretty windy. I think we're just gonna hunker down, as like my Canadian friend says. We literally went from 104 degrees to I think it's 65 right now. That's gonna be pretty much the high of the day. I saw 5 o'clock this morning, so that's when we kind of reformulated the game plan. It was 72, and I told my wife, I said, I think that's all we're gonna see as far as the high today. And pretty much is. The wind's got a little bite to it, but it feels good after all that 105 degree. You know, we saw actually 117 in our home yesterday out west there. But yeah, we got the new hose hooked up. You can see the 50-footer there. Nice. Also have a new pressure gauge. I'll do another video on it, but it controls the water pressure, mainly from getting too high. So we've had an issue before, we blew out some lines. So, yeah, it's doing well. We got the new filter hooked up. We wanted the whole new hose and filter and everything, just on this trip. I like doing that occasionally, because if it ever gets near, you can see it's always kind of near, but when you store it, last time I think we kind of just threw it all in the back of the truck back there, and they got near the black water, and I don't like mixing it at all. Not that it did, but I don't even want a chance of it, you know. Got a little different, better setup now. We got it set to where the black goes into its own little piece of Tupperware, I call it, battery power. So a little better setup. Again, day 2, we'll end up at Mount Rushmore and then Yellowstone. So that's the plan. It's slightly changed already, which I think is smart. My wife has the brains. I just kind of make it happen. Anyhow, so I'll keep these going, guys. I'll try to do one every day and then post it when I get back. So it'll be a little delay. I did one on the truck bed, so I'll post that. Truck bed organization, which you can see I already got trash sticking back there, but it worked pretty good. If we're kind of on a budget, reorganizing your truck bed. You know, there's crazy solutions out there. A lot of crazy solutions. Expensive is what I mean, not necessarily crazy, but I mean, you can spend thousands. I didn't want to do that. You know, we've already spent, I think our truck liner, I spent close to 700 on it, which is great. You know, it's a Linux, does a great job. But you know, as far as organization, we don't want a Tonto cover or whatever it is, because we want to still be able to, if we have to haul something back there, we don't want to be limited, you know. I know the new one's got all kinds of fanciness that prevents that, but, and more power to you if you have one. Please leave a comment, maybe you'll change my mind. But we got fairly secure refrigerator, coolers and stuff, and just check out that video. But anyhow, glad to be here, and I'll keep these going for you guys as much as I can, time permitting. And we were supposed to be pulling out here at 7 this morning. I hope you guys, it's not too windy, you guys get able to hear this. But yeah, so change of plans, pulling out tomorrow instead. Still all the stops. A couple Wyoming ones, or one, yeah, a couple Wyoming kind of spread out between South Dakota. So yeah, I'm gonna shut it off. I think it might be too windy. Talk to you soon. Day 4. Had a couple pretty long travel days. We are near Mount Rushmore. Jeez, I'm doing these in the early morning. I had a brain freeze. Everything did well. The truck did great. Excuse me. As far as towing, it had really no issues. It used quite a bit more depth than I thought it would. And maybe someone leave a comment. I think it was because of all the highway miles. Actually added 7 gallons of depth last night or yesterday. Then had to add more. It's full now. But the whole time we've had it, I haven't seen it used that much. So I think it's because of the towing, maybe. Got about 9.4 miles to the gallon out of it. Towing a 10,000 pound trailer, I think that's pretty good. And quite a few hills coming through Wyoming and then South Dakota. It's already up pretty high in elevation, but quite a few, you know, upgrade, downgrade type situations. Seem to handle it well. But anyhow, yeah, this is about getting close to halfway through a 10-day trip. Next stop after this one will be Yellowstone. We got delayed a little bit because of weather, so we're gonna have to make it up tomorrow. So yeah, I figured out we can only do 2-3 hours at a time. One thing, we don't like going below half, gas tank wise, and that's about the time we got to get out and stretch, use the restroom, that type of thing. Stella did great. Again, no issues. We're using the actual tow hauler part for the bikes, and we gave it a little protection here last night with the awning out, the bikes that is. And we got in here early. I'll place the name of the campground. It's KOA. Very nice people. So you can see there's plenty of room here between sites. We kind of pan down this way for you guys. The only thing about them, like a lot of sites though, guys, just know that they're not always even. So the rule of thumb really does apply as far as make sure you're chalked and level before you disconnect. Let me swing around the other side. We actually had to come up on several, let me go around this way, several blocks, and this is the second time on the trip it's happened, but this was several. See right there. So four-wheel drive actually helped getting up on the blocks to get it level. I did not account for that. When we got the four-wheel drive, I wasn't thinking of things like it needing to dig in to put it up on blocks. But it definitely will do that, guys. If you don't have four-wheel drive or you're considering a truck, think about getting it just if you're towing, because there was a couple situations where we had to get up on, I'm talking these type of yellow blocks here, where the back wheels were spinning. Put it in four-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive works in both forward and reverse, so it was able to pull it up onto, or really in this case, both cases, push it up onto the blocks. So consider it. I really hadn't, but I'm glad we did. Glad we have it. I'll keep you guys posted, as the trip continues. Yeah, other than the leveling situation. Oh yeah, I just wanted to mention, guys, if you're new to RVing, especially travel trailers, that's why I like this channel, because it's truck and tow. Just be aware that you'll have to, if you're pulling out early, there's a fair amount of work. Luckily I have my daughter's boyfriend, my son-in-law, I call him, but he is a big help. But as you can see, there's a lot to do. We have the jack stands down, levelers, and all the sewer equipment, all the water, power, the bikes come out. So there's probably, if you're trying to leave at 5 a.m. Or if you're trying to leave at 7 a.m., you're gonna have to get up at 5 to do it. That's what we found. And it's dark out and it's cold out, and things behave differently too in the cold. Actually, I did have a couple things happen now I think about it. A couple of the plastic handles broke on the sewer pull-out handles. I'll put a picture. One broke one day, another one broke the next, because I think we went down to freezing, went down to 32 in Wyoming. So plastic acts different. We even noticed the metal ball acts different, as far as, usually you can get it pretty close. We'll go ahead and go on. Provided there's enough grease. It's not greased up that well right now, but usually you can get this close and it will slide on. Wouldn't do it in the cold. Had to get exactly underneath to get it to go on the hitch. So things like that, when you buy an RV, they don't necessarily tell you. So keep watching. We'll keep making these. You guys have a great, blessed day.
Hey guys, decided to do this, probably the last video in this series, our 10-day trip from the truck. A little chilly this morning. Didn't want to wake everybody up in the trailer. Hopefully that flipped over. Yeah, I mean, it's been a great trip. We're getting ready to start heading back in tomorrow. So this 10-day trip, just a few things that we learned that maybe you can be helpful to somebody is, we already had a cold weather hose. I'll include a picture of it here. It's I say cold weather hose is probably not the correct terminology, but anybody that's RV'd in colder climates that goes below freezing, it's a blue hose. I think you can get them for around $100 at Camping World, probably Amazon. We'll provide a link, of course. But what it does is, if the temperature dips below freezing, which up here in South Dakota it did. Actually, it started in Wyoming. We kind of caught the tail end of a storm, but it was cold enough, dipped down below freezing. The hose will actually come on and provide warmth to the hose so it won't freeze. Won't hurt the park's equipment, the RV park's equipment. It won't hurt your equipment because the water's warm enough to continue to flow and not damage things. Although I think we may have still, in some strange way, not sure how, but when I turned the pump on in the trailer itself, water seems to be slowly kind of popping out the intake for the water, which I'm not sure what that's about, really. You know, it's fine with the pumps off, so I'll have to do some research once we get back home and see, you know, possibly what may be happening there. I don't know if maybe part of the tank still froze, if the switchover mechanism isn't completely cutting over, or what's exactly going on there. But obviously the tanks are on the other side of what you're seeing here. Hold on one second, my dog's barking. So, this has been a great trip. Say we're getting ready to head back tomorrow, starting tomorrow. Take a couple days to get back out west there. Got the, as you can see there, we got the stove set up for outdoor cooking. That's been great. Got the awning out, which has been good. We got the little dog pen set up, which has been great too. Oh, I got a new connector. You can probably see the propane tank there. It's for the outdoor stove. And those larger propane tanks are great for these outdoor stoves, the Blackstones especially. Probably others too, now I think about it. Gives you a lot more pressure than those little green propane tanks. Those are just, in my mind, those are great. They're small, but everything, it just doesn't give you enough pressure as far as you know, gas, you know, that gets basically fired to heat the cooktop, where these bigger ones do. And it's way easier. Now, the big tank's a little hassle to lug around. I've seen people with some 1 gallon ones, which I have to maybe check out, but you don't have to worry about it. You fill that 5 gallon, you're pretty much good for, I mean, it's been a 10-day trip. We're not done yet, but I venture to say it's gonna last us. We've only used the stove maybe 3 times already. So yeah, it's been great. Plenty of pressure. And I picked that up at Home Depot, or no, I'm sorry, Lowe's. I had no idea they had all those extra little parts for propane and stuff. One of the people that we were next to at one of the RV parks actually showed me that. So it's worked out really great so far. I'll put a little picture of it, maybe, you know, if Amazon, I bet you Amazon probably has it too. That's the thing, guys. But when you're preparing and trying to think of things, that's why videos like this, other channels too, you have to order a lot of that stuff before you go. Once you get on the road, you have to find it on the road. And I was lucky enough we were near a Lowe's, and they had it based on this person's recommendation, and it worked out great. It really did, so far. So I still have some green bottles eventually have to use up somehow, but more for emergencies at this point. But yeah, it's been a great trip. This, you know, a few little things I just like warning people about. You know, the last video, probably make this all one long video, but I was talking about just, you know, if you have a 7 a.m. rollout, you have to get up early, start preparing and thinking ahead. I think is what I'm trying to say here. Think ahead of what you need, you know, to travel with, to cook with, to even bikes. Let me flip it back around one more time, guys. I don't know if you can see these bikes right here on the front, right there. Those have rode. Now, like I told you guys, a toy hauler, and we're using it. We don't really have any, you know, large toys like a wheeler, things like that, razor. We're not, you know, at this point of our life, we're kind of more into just sightseeing and, you know, traveling around, doing things like that. But we do with the bikes back there, which has been handy. It's nice to have that extra storage in that regard and other things. But, you know, when we're just camped like this, we don't want to be opening the back every time. So I just chain it up to the trailer somewhere, either on the stairs. Right now, you saw I got it up on the tongue. Simple bike chain through the frame. Pretty simple stuff, guys. And same in back. I don't know if you guys saw parts of the truck bed organization. Use some cables and locks back there. You know, it wasn't great towards the tail end here. Everything's starting to slide a little bit, move around, but it's worked. It's worked for what we've needed it for. You know, we got the generator back there. We haven't used it yet. That's one thing. We haven't had, you know, we've been on full park power, you know, 50 amp. We've been lucky enough to get 50 amp. And really could have got away with 30 because as we've gotten up here in Wyoming and South Dakota, that's been, you know, today maybe getting the 80s. We may have to kick on the AC, but for the most part, we haven't needed it. We're using little space heaters for everything else. And those, I tell you what, guys, you have to be careful with them. You know, you don't want everyone to put anything near it or anything. Full disclosure with the little space heaters. But they're great as far as just, you know, if you're on full park power, little space heaters, or, you know, if you're in a little area, you're watching TV or, you know, sleeping, again, got to be careful with them. A lot of them do have safety mechanisms where if they tilt over, but you don't want anything near them, but I think they're more efficient than running the whole heat, using up a bunch of your propane and things like that. So it's been great in that regard. We actually been using them here. It's gotten down, you know, 40s at night, that type of thing. 30s when we were first here. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. I guess the much free planning you can do really helps. I may even create another checklist just of, you know, up and above the trailer hooking up checklist. Thinking of maybe doing a checklist on just preparing to go. I mean, there's a whole array of things. Anyhow, dogs barking, guys. We'll talk to you next time. I'll do one after we get back, as soon as we get settled down. And you guys have a great, blessed week.